Hey guys, what's up? Plastic Guy here, coming back with another figure review. For today, we're going to be taking a look at some awesome ToyBiz Spider-Man figures. So ToyBiz were the figures that I grew up with as a kid, and with Spider-Man being my favourite superhero, I had a few back then, and a couple that I've managed to keep a hold of, and I'm going to shove them in this video today. But after taking a look here on the channel at the superposable ToyBiz Deadpool and recently the ToyBiz Moon Knight, ToyBiz really won me over again. I mean, the sculpting on those figures is insane, and it made me want to pick up a few more of their Spider-Man figures. So I was keeping my eye out on eBay, and over the last few weeks I've managed to pick up some great Spider-Men for some great prices as well. That's the thing with these ToyBiz figures. They're pretty old now, and here in the UK on eBay you can pick them up a lot of the time for around £10 to £15, which I'm all for. My main collection is Hasbro's latest Marvel Legends figures, which are fantastic, and I'm not trying to take anything away from them, but they are just missing wee things that I really like ToyBiz for. I mean, ToyBiz's versions of the same characters just have a lot of little subtle sculpted details and some great paint apps that we just don't see anymore, and that's why I really wanted to pick up some of the older Spider-Men, because they are just very unique and individual looking, similar to what I said about the Deadpool and Moon Knight that we recently took a look at. Before we take a closer look at them though, let me know down in the comments section what your favourite ToyBiz figure is and what I should be keeping my eye out for to pick up next. I really want the superposable McFarlane Spider-Man. I don't know its official title, but everyone knows it as the McFarlane Spider-Man. I do have a McFarlane Spider-Man to take a closer look at in this video, but it's not the one that, it's now on the grail list. So let me know what you guys think down below. While you're down there, if you could do me a massive favour, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. And let's not wait any longer, let's take a closer look at these ToyBiz Spideys. And so here are our Spider-Man Classics ToyBiz Spider-Man figures. And because they are Spider-Man Classics and they're super old, the joints are so loose, and I'm just hoping I get at least 2 minutes out of this before they all fall over. I'm going to try and do what I normally do in these collection videos and just go through each of these figures one by one, show them off, and do it by starting with my least favourite and we'll end with my most favourite. And I think it's easy to pick out my least favourite in this video. It's this random ToyBiz Spider-Man figure here. I don't know if it has a release date on him. Let's just take a closer look up here. 1998. This guy came out in 1998, so he is over 20 years old, and it shows. Yeah, the articulation is pretty rubbish. I do actually like the sculpt in the body here. All the sculpted webbing looks fantastic. Don't know what this is in here, but I got this guy as part of a bundle. I can't remember what other Spider-Man figure I picked up to get this guy, but I mean, he's grown on me for sure. There's no articulation in the legs here. Once again, we've got the sculpted webbing and the boots, and they look really nice, same as the body. I do really like the spider logo as well. Spider logo looks okay on the back. Articulation really sucks. Same on both arms, and the arms just look weird as well. He's just kind of got this forward facing fist. Like, what is the point in that? Kind of grabby hand, and yeah, the head sculpt just really lets this piece down. It's an okay piece, but I mean, I would never buy it. I just got him through a bundle, and least favourite for sure. And then next on my list is this Spider-Man here. Now, I'm guessing this guy came out round about the same time. I've got a date on him here. Whoa, this is 1984? Nah, yeah, 1994. You can see it better on camera. I thought it said 84. Does it say 84? Definitely 94. I'm saying this guy's 94. So this guy came out 4 years earlier than this guy here. And once again, it shows. I mean, we've got these metal weird joints. But I really do like this guy. There's a certain charm to him, and I don't know if it's a sort of nostalgia thing, because I had the golden red Spider-Man when I was maybe 6, 7, and I played with the red and gold figure to death. I mean, that's why I'll get onto that in a second. This guy looks really nice. I do really like the colour they've used. I feel like in the comics it was disputed a lot whether Spider-Man had a dark blue or black to his costume, and this figure perfectly captures both. This is a really nice black, dark blue running deep throughout the figure, and I think it looks great. Really nice spider logo in the back. I love the front logo. I love how the webbing kind of separates here and we've just got the logo. Once again, with this figure, it's the same as the last. The head sculpt really just lets it down, just a bit of a misprinting, I think, here. It just looks a bit off. Of course, the figure is really old, and that's probably got something to do with it, especially when you see all the webbing just kind of everywhere on the back of his head. But I really like this piece. I once again got this as part of a bundle. I didn't buy it by choice. It came with a better Spider-Man figure, and at the prices I get the bundles at, I normally basically just say I get these for free because I never spend too much on the bundle. I'll get the figure that I want. Let's say he came with this guy here, which he didn't, but let's use him as an example. I'd get this figure, a couple others, for around the £20 mark, and I would pay £20 for that figure itself. So yeah, these guys just are kind of flung in, and I can't complain in that sense. Articulations, I mean, it's better than the last figure. There's more points of articulation, that's for sure. And I do like how the fist is more natural looking on that. I mean, it's an open hand, but it's not an open fist facing the wrong way like the last one. Yeah, definitely prefer this figure. Bit quirky, bit older now, but it's a fun piece. I really do enjoy it. And of course, with that being said, next up is the red and gold version. Extremely similar. I do think this head sculpt, I mean in this case, does look a bit better. I can imagine all the figures are a bit different. The webbing still like mismatched in the back here. But as I mentioned, total nostalgia factor for me with this piece. I had this when I was so young. It came with like a spider car, I remember. And for some reason I just played with this guy all the time, even though he's got such a weird red and gold suit that I wasn't even familiar with back then with comics or TV show or anything. I mean, I've never seen this costume ever again, apart from being on this figure. I don't know if it's based on a comic look or not. If you have seen this look in a Spider-Man comic, let me know down in the comment section below, because I would love to read it. You can see the kind of colouring in the face is a bit miscoloured. And I actually picked this up at a local Comic-Con. I saw him for like £5. All my memories came flooding back, and I'm so glad I picked him up and I found this figure again. I remember he broke on me when I was playing with him one day, and I was absolutely gutted. I mean, I was devastated. So to find him all these years later at a local Comic-Con, he had to be purchased, and we can see a lot better there that this figure did come out in 1994. So it's next on my list, but I love this thing for sure. Okay, this is where it gets kind of tough, but unfortunately the next figure has to be this guy right here, and this is a figure I've had since I was 3 years old. This very one. I didn't rebuy it or anything. I mean, you can probably tell because this is the worst condition figure I've ever seen in my life. He's missing fingers on both hands. I mean, thankfully he's got those Spider-Man 3, gun fingers. But yeah, the joints are kind of super glued, like the thigh cuts here, because they were the loosest joints I've ever seen in my life. I mean, there's still some stiffness to the legs here. The knee, there's just no tension there at all. A wee bit better here, but not much. The articulation is a lot better on this figure than the last ones we've looked at. This was one of the first Spider-Man Classics figures. Definitely wasn't the very first, but this is based on the Amazing Fantasy 15 look. which of course is now getting redone by Hasbro, and I can't wait to compare those two figures. But I got this when I was 3 years old. I was going on holiday. I remember nothing about the holiday, but I remember scrolling through a toy catalogue, or I think it was just a catalogue in general about all the things you could buy on the plane, and begging my mum to get me this Spider-Man figure. And for some reason she got me it, probably just to shut me up on the flight there. I don't even know where I was going. That's my only memory of the holiday, was getting this figure on the plane. And for those reasons I love him, but I've never been a massive fan of the look, if I'm being honest. Even when I played with him as a kid, just the eyes, I don't know what it is, like the eyes just put me off a wee bit. They're a bit small for my liking. It's just not my favourite look for him, but it is a really nice figure. The articulation was great for the time, and he's just not in the best condition, but I would love to get a better condition one just because of the memories I've got with this figure. So he's a cool piece, definitely not my favourite. Once again, nostalgia playing a massive role in this figure, but yeah, it is what it is. He's a great figure. And so for very similar reasons, this guy is going to be my next pick. This is like a Spider-Sense Spider-Man, and there was loads of different releases for this figure. Just the same sculpt with different colorways and different accessories and things. I remember once again just begging my mum to get another Spider-Man toy, and I'd basically saved up enough pocket money, and one day we went into town, and the toy shops where I grew up like didn't have a massive range. I mean, it was better back then than it is now for sure, but I remember it was between this figure and another Spider-Man, and I chose this one. I much preferred the look for it. Once again, I mean, the eyes kind of let it down because it's that clear kind of glass look, and this figure was released with a white eye, same sculpt, just white eye. I justified it the same way I justified the movie Spider-Sense Spider-Man, where if he was wearing a mask, he'd probably have like glass on the eye. I mean, he did in the films, and kind of looks like glass, I suppose. I do really like this sculpt. His legs are really long, and I remember playing with this as a kid and my uncle saying these legs were long just like a spider, and I kind of think that makes sense. I don't know if that was intentional, but definitely makes sense. The joints really loose again in the ab area. I think this guy's like missing a bit of his finger, you can see there. Once again, not in the best condition, but not too bad, especially for the amount I played with this figure. This was my go-to Spidey, and I think he just looks great. I mean, I do love the sculpt. Great posability as well. Lots of articulation in there. Yeah, I've got a couple pictures of this guy off my Instagram, but I'm definitely going to need to take more. It's just a shame the articulation's so loose in the body there, and he's doing a wee dance. And so here are our final three, and these three figures are brand new pickups. They just arrived over the last couple of weeks, and they're figures that I've wanted for quite some time. I've been saving up some money, and I mean, they weren't expensive. I got this guy for around £10, got this one in the middle for around 20, and same with this guy here. So when you add it up, it's a lot of money. I didn't want to buy them all straight away. Loved the look of these figures, never had them as a kid. I've had my eye on them for a while because I do love these Spider-Man classics. As I've said, there's such a unique look to them. I love Spider-Man, and I want loads of different figures and versions of Spider-Man, and that's what Spider-Man classics were great at. Coming in third place is going to be this guy right here. Once again, a figure that was released multiple times in different packagings and different colorways. I hated the look of this figure at first, and I've never seen him sell for like too big a price either. He does normally sell for around the £15 marks. I've seen him at local Comic Cons, I've seen him on eBay loads, and yeah, I just never liked the look of him. And I don't know what it was, but recently I took a liking to him just all of a sudden. I was like, I don't know what it is, but I'm starting to like the look of this guy. And then out of nowhere, Shartimus Prime released a video on him taking a closer look, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to pick this guy up, and I'm so glad that I have. The head sculpts came out really nice on this one. I do like the big eyes, and maybe like some more sculpting in the face. I mean, when we look at the past couple, we can see the eye areas are sculpted, like you've got a lens and then the glass in the middle, sculpted webbing, and then the Amazing Fantasy, the exact same thing going on there, the sculpted webbing, sculpted lenses. And then when you get to this guy, it's just all printed on, and I do feel like that's a bit of a downfall with this piece. If those lenses were sculpted on there, whoa, he'd be another level, but it's not, and that's unfortunate. The line work is really nice, the webbing and everything is held up really well. Once again, I love that front logo. Back logo looks a bit faded. I've seen that with a lot of these figures on eBay. They all seem to be faded, and his waist turned all the way around there. The joints are fairly stiff, a lot stiffer than the childhood figures that I've just shown off, so the guy definitely, or woman, kept good care of this figure before he sent me it. And yeah, I mean, the articulation's really good, sculpt's really nice. Definitely, I think, better proportioned in the leg and body area. You can obviously tell it's outdated at this point. My only downfall, I think, when it comes to the proportions are the feet look absolutely tiny. The feet look minuscule. You still get the toe articulation and everything, but looking at these two Spideys right here, the feet look, I mean, they kind of look a bit too big when it comes to this guy, but these ones definitely look too small, and I'd rather them look kind of the same proportion as these than this one here. Yeah, it does look old, it is an older figure, but in a way still holds up for me. It's just that unique look again. 2002, that's actually way earlier than I thought. This figure came out in 2002. I thought this was maybe like 2005, 2006. I mean, when did this one come out? 2001, so this guy's a year older than this one, and you have to say they came a long way in just 1 year. Yeah, so I love this guy now, didn't used to, but I'm now really happy to have him as part of the collection. Pretty unique looking Spider-Man, and I've watched Sharpness Prime's videos, you can get this guy in some great poses. So coming in at second place is this Spider-Man right here, and I've had my eye on this figure for a very long time. I absolutely love the look of him. I think the sculpt's fantastic. Very much an Ultimate Spider-Man. Once again, this figure was released a couple of times. Don't know what version this is, but I think he looks fantastic. His biggest downfall is the articulation and sculpt. I mean, what on earth is this? Just there's no articulation really in this arm, which is such a shame. Doesn't really move around at all where the articulation actually is. Nothing in the arm here, up here, no finger articulation, just this flat slapping hand, which isn't, just not the best, and it could be a lot better. I mean, let's be honest, it could be a lot better. But overall, if you got him in a kind of statue like standard neutral pose, you're not going to notice it too much. And that's probably worth mentioning. Before I bought this guy and got him in hand, I really didn't know how sculpted he was. There's a lot more articulation in this arm here. Once again, kind of hard to move around up here. At least he's got something at the elbow there. And then you've just got this fisted hand. Exact same thing. Get him in a pose, he's going to look alright, but as soon as you start posing him around and getting some cool dynamic poses for your Instagram, then yeah, it's not going to work. No articulation in this area here. And then he's got this spring action at the waist. So you can't actually line it up and get him like looking straight forward because he just springs to the side, and I did not know that about this figure. And yeah, it's another downfall. You're probably like, why is he ranked so high? And it is just because I love the look of him so much. But I'm about to dig on him a wee bit more because he's got this massive thing at the back, and I guess that's for like the stupid gimmick thing. Yeah, I mean, I might think about somehow taking this off at some point because it stands out like a sore thumb. I do really like the back logo though. Shame that the kind of red's not went all the way to the end of the legs there. Legs are actually alright, especially with the articulation and the other Spider-Man classics at the time. Pretty standard, big ball joints at the hip, unfortunately, but as I said, it's standard. Feet are alright, toe articulation. I mean, the articulation is pretty normal from the waist down, and then the top, it just sucks. But the sculpt, I think, is excellent. I love the look of Ultimate Spider-Man. I think this is one of the better Ultimate Spider-Man sculpts. it's such a shame that he just doesn't have more articulation on him. I mean, it really, really is, because he looks the part. And so then we're left with our number 1 spot, and it's pretty much for the exact same reasons as the last figure, because the articulation on this figure also kinda sucks.
They're crap. Crap. Mega crap.
But he looks amazing. This is an awesome McFarlane Spider-Man. I really, really, really badly want to pick up the superposable McFarlane Spider-Man. I think that figure looks great, but I am not paying those high prices that everyone asks for. I mean, folk right now on eBay are asking for around £100. I also know there's reproductions, there's fakes out there that sell for around £40. I don't want a fake. I don't think the fakes look as good. I think that Hasbro version looks terrible. I'm sorry for anyone that likes that figure, but the black and dark red I absolutely hate. I much prefer the blue with the red. And this is what I'm about to say. I overall prefer the look of this McFarlane Spidey to the other one, and I know the other one's superposable, the articulation is so much better, but when it comes to the head sculpt, the spider logo and everything, I think this guy looks amazing. And if I have one posed on the shelf, just kinda in a boring pose, if I'm being honest, I think this one's gonna look a lot better. So when I was looking for McFarlane Spideys and this guy popped up, I wasn't actually too familiar with them, but obviously when I saw that head sculpt, I was like, that looks like a McFarlane Spidey. I looked around and I mean, I was blown away with the look of this figure, and it was just once again when I got him in hand, the articulation let him down a lot. But I think he's still better than the last figure we looked at, because at least even though the hand's not got any articulation or in the arm, it's in a thwipping pose, so you can still get a kind of thwip going on, as you can see. Nothing to slot in there, but I might actually just make a wee web accessory or something and I can shove that in there. That would do the trick. I hate this bit on his arm. I mean, that needs to come off. I need to file that away or something. I do not like it at all. Obviously, it's part of the gimmick with this figure. We can see he's got a hole in the elbow. I hated how they did that. I guess kids really liked it. I don't ever really remember liking the gimmicks as a kid either. I mean, my imagination was enough, but that was the thing, I guess. And the articulation is better in this arm. He's also in a thwipping pose. It's a shame he didn't have more articulation. I mean, I've said it over and over, but it's the truth. We do get more articulation in the torso area. He's not really moving left to right, but it's more of an ab crunch. You can move it backwards and forwards. Head's moving around as well, so there is some good movement there. The waist moving around, he is pretty loose, as with the rest of the Spider-Man classics we've looked at. And then once again, the articulation from the waist down is pretty standard. Just when it comes to the feet area, there's no pivot or toe articulation like a lot of the other Spider-Man classics had. Nothing in the calf area either. But you can't deny that this Spider-Man looks incredible. And so there you have it for this ToyBiz Spider-Man Classics video, and I absolutely love these figures. They are old, but they are great. I mean, will they hold up in a newer collection? Absolutely not, but they are so much fun, and I want to know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Let me know what your favourites are, your least favourites. If you have any cool memories of any of these figures, let me know down in the comment section. While you're down there, guys, if you could do me a massive favour, as always, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'll leave the link to my Instagram down in the description below, so feel free to hop on over there, and feel free to hop on over to the channel page as well, because there are so many Spider-Man videos up there at this point, and I hope you enjoy them as well. So thank you so much for watching this video. As always, I'll catch yous on the flip-flop later. Cheers.